Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Jailbait and Tackle Outdoors. I'm very excited to talk to you about this 100th episode of Story Time. I was trying to figure out something special to talk to you about, and rather than talking about myself, I want to tell. I've been telling you guys off and on some great stories about a restaurant called FK Your Diet. If you are new to the channel, it means Foster Kid Your Diet. It does not mean something else. So what I'm going to do is this is what it's I'm going to recite some examples of the kindness that they do on a daily basis. So I'm going to go to their Facebook page, and I can tell right now that there's Doug and Amy that are the primary owners of the restaurant. They have I don't know 5 or 6 restaurants, and they're just like amazing people. So this is a direct quote from a Facebook page. This is a direct story from their Facebook page that they posted a day or two ago. So I can tell, like I said, that Doug is the person I can tell how he writes his dialogue. So I know this is pretty much Doug sharing this story. I do believe. So anyway, this is the story. It starts off with, "What's the deal with that kid?" "Oh, he's a regular," I say. "He looks kind of young." I say, "Yes, but he's such a good kid." I yell over to him, "How are your grades?" I ask. "Straight A's except for one B, sir." "What's the B in?" "Math, sir. I messed up on a test," he says. I tell him if he gets it up to straight A's, I'll get him a FK your Fort Myers t-shirt. He replies, "Done, sir," with a smile on his face. I tell him school is so important, and he agrees, and he says he does great in school, so someday he can be rich. I ask him, "What would you do if you were rich?" And he says, "Take care of his family." He grabs his food for him and his mom, and I tell him I love him as he leaves. He says, "I love you too." What's the most you will never know is he lives in a storage unit. This is why we do what we do. Love all. Have a great night. So this is an amazing young child who has been gifted food pretty much probably on a daily basis, and there's going to be a follow up uh, to this. I'm going to attach to this story, and I might dig a little deeper and talk a little bit more about um, stuff that they do. So here it is. So I wish you could see. I encourage everybody to go to the Facebook page, FK Your Diet Fort Myers, and you can read a lot of these stories of things that they've done for people. It would be very, very um, productive for not only for your own lives, but it would be very intuitive to what really is going out there in the real world. Not everybody does what these people do, so they're very, very unique. When I say unique, extremely unique. So this is a follow up to that story I just read. I told you a story a few days ago about a kid we help. He lives in a storage unit with his family. One of the cooks shared this. This kid is so cute. One day he asked if he could have a few extra meals. I said, "No problem." I asked him why, and he said, "The kids on the bus were hungry too." He so he brought them some too. So let me rephrase this. I'm sorry, I got a little tongue tied there. I told a story a few days ago about a kid we helped. He lives in a storage unit with his family. One of the cooks shared this. So the kid is cute. One day asked if he could have a few extra meals. I said, no problem. I asked him why. And he said, the kids on the bus were hungry too. So he brought them some with a heart that the kid had, though he's living where he does. Our team amazes how much we care and attention and pay towards everyone. So the picture is a bunch of loaves of bread in the vehicle, and there's some other food in the vehicle, and they do this on a daily basis. So I'm going to try and scroll. I have not. Those are the only two stories I know. Some of these stories I have read in the past, but it's crazy what these people they go to Fort Myers Beach, which was totally devastated by Hurricane Ian, and they feed people every day, or I say many days a week. I shouldn't say every day because I really don't know their exact schedule. But I think they go out there around lunchtime and they make sure as many people are fed. For those who are living, who don't understand, I almost used a phrase that I wouldn't have been very happy with myself if I had used that phrase. But Fort Myers Beach is still devastated. It's going to take them 6-7 years to rebuild. There's still a lot of homeless people living there. Our living conditions there are pretty much terrible. Pretty much the only sustainable buildings on that island, which is Estero Island, which is 7.5 miles long, would be like a lot of the very, very well fortified high rise condominiums. Even many of those have been drastically affected, and it's going to take them years to rebuild. A lot of their structures were still in place, but their internal operating systems were totally saturated and destroyed. So it's everything from A to Z had to be rebuilt down there. It's going to take a long time. But so I'm going to try and read this, and I have not previously read this, so I may sound a little foolish reading this. Valentina, Kenley, and Addie doing what they do. They could have all ate these cookies and gave them to the friends, but they gave them to us to give to the foster families and Hurricane Ian victims. Amy and I had a great discussion with these young girls about what a foster kid is. The parents taking their time to teach charity is so awesome. I learned charity by being on the receiving end. All of these free lunches from Lunch Lady taught me at a young age that one day I want to give back to kids like me. I'm going to interject here real quick. For those who've not tuned in previously, Doug was a foster child. He was pushed through the system, so to speak. The amazing girls are learning the joy of giving by giving to people that have less than them, and that's awesome. Helping others is hard, but it can also be fun, and look how happy giving cookies away makes them. Love you all and hope you have a great Sunday. So it's so cool. These girls are giving away cases of Girl Scout cookies, it looks like to me. So that's really cool. Let's see if see what other stories we can share about this great business. What they do is, if you go and watch their Facebook page, there's like a little adjoining empty little lot next to their restaurant. Pretty sure they do not own that. They do not lease it. In the old days, people would put a vehicle out there for sale or something like that. What they have done is they lease a pod, one of those portable storage containers, and they people donate all the time. So they put that pod out there, and everything that they give away to the community is free. It could be chairs, it could be TVs, it could be, it could be lamps or whatever. So they do a lot of that. So I'm just looking at some of these pictures as I'm trying to talk to you. Um, there's so much just about who they hire. They do a lot of stuff. They will hire and feed the homeless. One thing they changed in their pricing strategy, I don't know if this is still a thing. It kind of concerned me when they were doing this, but they serve really large portions of food, really large portions of food. So, like, say, if you're going to order like an omelet or something like that, you're going to have a bunch of hash browns on. It's going to be massive. It's probably going to be the largest breakfast meal you've ever been served in your life. But what they do with that money, they give percentage. I forget what the percentage is to causes like what they do, and then I'd say, don't quote me on the exact time period. They have changed their model that now they don't even put prices on their food. They just ask for people to be kind and generous, and there's stories out there. So most people are kind and generous. If a homeless person would come in there and not have food, they would have a meal. So that's pretty cool. That's very, very unique in today's times. And to times that by how many restaurants they have, it's pretty crazy. Um, so just think about that. Like they are really risking everything to help everybody else. I'm going to try and find this post. I remember. Uh, Here it is. Uh, this is it. I think this is the post. So this was posted on April 20th. It says, "Good morning. I posted a few days ago about another lady who someone at Walgreens told her to ask us at FK Your Diet to help with her prescription costs. Obviously, it's not what we do, but right then and there, this beautiful little girl walked in with a box of money she raised by selling bracelets. Uh, they're writing here, call it God, call it whatever you want. It was perfect timing. Getting the prescription filled turned out to be a pain in the butt because the pharmacist was at lunch and it's against the law to prepay for a prescription. So I had to buy a gift card, yada, yada, yada. It was a feel good story. I like to share people helping people, good people, kids helping. And I thought the story was over. But now the rest of the story, someone who saw it reached out and asked her to partner with their mobile doctor's office. They run their business the same way we do, and they're trying to bring services to the undeserved. I think it says undeserved. I think they meant to type unserved, is what I'm going to presume. There are so many people that either can't get an appointment or can't afford a doctor or little medical attention. Because of that post, a couple times a month, we'll be hosting them to work out of our parking lot and bring an option to the area. I'll be posting more about this time gets closer. I'll be amazed how one thing leads to another. It's not always good, but when it is, it's the victories that keep us moving. Love you all. So just picture that, you know, and the picture basically shows this mobile truck. Looks to be partially sponsored by Aetna, United Way, some other Lee Health, and basically it's like a mobile clinic. And it on this, I'm looking at the picture and it says no insurance ? No problem. So basically, FK Your Diet has promoted so much positivity during a negative time, with so many people being affected by Hurricane Ian. Um, I could go on and read this for hours. But if you would love to see Doug and Amy on a live broadcast, what I'm thinking about doing is trying to introduce them or trying to contact Tish Ross with No Judgment here at Tish Ross and have her interview these people, because she does so many amazing things, even though it's not directly in her area. And they're really not YouTubers. They are social media personalities that are doing many great things. And hopefully with No Judgment here with Tish Ross and her exposure, these people can get more exposure, hopefully more assistance, more donations, or perhaps other people in different regions can perhaps emulate their success model for what they do to help out people. So, with that being said, I'm going to close this out. And usually I try and do a special way to do this, but it's the 100th celebration. It's not about me. It's literally about people helping people. To me, that is the most basic form of humanity and assistance. Really, just think about it. People helping people, and the people. I will say this. I do want to interject one more comment before I close out this video. But the people who usually the people, I don't want to stereotype or anything, usually the people that are doing okay do not understand the struggles of people who are not doing okay. And they're not always the most giving and kind in general. I'm not saying they're not kind, but the most giving. That's my perception. I'm going to own that. That's my perception. But my perception is the people that have had struggles in life, the people who have the least, tend to give the most. That is my opinion, my perception. So I'm going to close out this broadcast, this 100th Storytime celebration, trying to acknowledge a great family unit that is doing great things for all over the state of Florida. And it could be emulated. You can do it in your state. They have the blueprint for success. And what I will say is hashtag find a way to serve. Thank you very much, people. And when you get a chance, try and help a stranger. Whatever you can. It's so many people do not realize somebody could be on their last bit of hope. So I thank you.